All right, let's dive into a classic Hindi folktale about a poor woodcutter named Madhav, whose life takes a turn nobody could ever see coming. Now, this is not your typical rags to riches story. Nope, this is something else entirely. It's really a masterclass in thinking ahead, being clever, and, the hidden power of a really well thought out wish.
And wow, right out the bat we are thrown straight into the drama. Those words, that's Madhav's wife, Bhagyawan. And let me tell you, she is furious. I mean, from her perspective, her husband didn't just get a miracle, he wasted it. Her anger is just so raw, and it tells you everything you need to know about the crushing, day-to-day hunger that defines their entire world.
So, our story kicks off with Madhav, a woodcutter who works his fingers to the bone, and his wife, Bhagyawan. They are completely trapped in a life of just grinding poverty. Their little hut isn't just empty of food, it's filled with a sense of total despair.
I mean, just try to imagine this. For half the month, their stove is completely cold. That is their reality. So, of course, Bhagyawan is desperate. She's pleading with Madhav to find any other kind of work, just to escape that constant gnawing hunger. But he's always the optimist, insisting that his hard work will pay off one day. It's a really heartbreaking, classic argument that's born from true hardship.
Then, a stranger shows up, and he's the spark that's going to change everything. A holy man, looking weak and tired from a really long journey, knocks on their door. He asks for the two things they have the absolute least of, food and water. And this right here, this is the moment that changes everything.
So even with his own stomach empty, Madhav doesn't hesitate for a second. He offers the sage the one thing he actually can give, a cool drink of water. And this simple act of generosity, coming from a place of having nothing, it just deeply impresses the holy man. It really drives home a key point. Charity isn't about how much money you have, it's about what's in your heart.
And that kindness, it's about to get rewarded, but in a very, very unusual way. The sage, totally pleased with Madhav's selfless heart, offers him 3 boons. Yep, 3 wishes that could change his life forever.
So what would you ask for, right? Riches, a long life, maybe a palace? Well, Madhav asks for something completely different. He chooses to enchant his everyday tools, his axe, an old wooden chair, and his leather bag. Each wish gives him absolute control over anything or anyone that interacts with them. Honestly, they seem kind of bizarre, almost pointless, given how desperate his situation is.
And here is where we see the huge gap between them. Just look at these two totally different ways of seeing things. On one side, you've got Bhagyawan, who sees useless junk. She thinks he's thrown away their one shot at a golden future. But on the other side, Madhav sees a protective shield. He understands something fundamental. Wealth you earn through your own smarts is the only kind that really lasts. He's playing the long game, while his wife, and you can't blame her, can only see the hunger they're feeling right now.
So Madhav's strange boons are about to be put to the ultimate test. Feeling dejected after his wife's angry outburst, he heads into the forest, where he's about to make a very, very dangerous deal.
Out in the woods, he comes across this peculiar man who just doesn't seem quite human. And when Madhav glances down and spots his goat-like hooves, the man reveals his true nature. He's a powerful demon. And this demon, he has an offer that sounds just a little too good to be true. The deal is simple and terrifying. The demon offers 3 huge bags of gold, enough to live like a king. The price? In exactly 1 year, Madhav has to become the demon's slave for eternity. But Madhav, thinking about his wife's wishes and, trusting in his strange boons, accepts the deal. So for 1 year, their life is completely transformed. The hut becomes a mansion, their rags are replaced with silk, and their bellies are always full. Bhagyawan is happy, of course, but there's this little seed of fear in the back of her mind. She knows this wealth came at a cost. She just has no idea how high that price really is.
That year of luxury just flies by, and soon enough, the day of reckoning arrives. Now we get to see Madhav's master plan finally unfold. This is going to be a true battle of wits against some serious supernatural power.
Exactly 1 year later, right on schedule, the demon appears. This time, he's in his true, terrifying form, and he is ready to collect his prize. He's here to drag Madhava away to a life of eternal slavery. But Madhav, he's ready. He puts on this show of false humility and asks the demon for one last favor. Hey, could you help me chop these last few logs? The demon, full of arrogance, just scoffs.
calls the axe a toy, and grabs it to show off his strength. And just like that, the trap is sprung. The axe is stuck to his hands, and he's forced to chop wood, completely out of his control.
This powerful demon is instantly reduced to a helpless laborer. He begs for mercy, and Madhav names his price for freedom. 5 bags of gold and a new deal. The demon can't come back for another 2 years. Defeated and exhausted, the demon agrees and just flees.
So, 2 years pass. The demon returns, and this time he is even angrier and more powerful than before. He vows he will not be tricked again. He's not going to touch anything of Madhav's or fall for any of his clever words.
Madhav appears to just surrender immediately. He calmly tells the demon he's ready to go, but invites the weary traveler to sit on his most comfortable chair while he says his goodbyes. Seeing absolutely no threat in a simple chair, the demon sits down and gets stuck.
He is trapped again, completely fused to the wooden chair. He struggles with all his demonic might but can't move an inch. So once again, he's forced to beg for his freedom. And the price has now doubled. 10 bags of gold and a promise to never return for 5 years. The demon agrees, and as soon as he's released, he vanishes for good, utterly and completely defeated.
So, with his soul saved and his fortune totally secured, Madhav becomes the wealthiest man in the whole region, all thanks to those peculiar wishes. But what's the real lesson buried inside this fantastic story?
Madhav and Bhagyavan lived out the rest of their days in incredible wealth and happiness. His seemingly useless boons were, just as he predicted, the ultimate protective shield. His story became a local legend, a real testament to how cleverness can triumph over pretty much any obstacle.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. The story isn't just about outsmarting a demon. It's a powerful lesson about what wealth really is. See, true power isn't a handout of gold, and it's not about brute force. Real lasting success and security are built on a foundation of intellect and foresight. In a way, Madhav didn't ask for a fish. He asked for a magical fishing rod. It's a fascinating thing to think about, isn't it? After hearing Madhav's story, would you still ask for immediate riches, or would you ask for a tool, a skill, or maybe a piece of wisdom? What would be your protective shield? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.